Welcome to the Better Than a Stick tabletop role-playing game where you can see all these wonderful creators and their characters taken into the world of the High Republic, where you can see some awesome lightsabers like this. And you can see our heroes, we'll call them heroes, fumble around through this world that we call role-playing. So, last time we had some interesting things happen. We had some mischief, some mayhem, and I feel like we're going to have some more. So sit down, buckle up, and let's ready to go.
It's going to get interesting with all the accidental smuggling and contraband that you guys have got on your hands now.
Oh god, yeah, I forgot about that.
This is fine.
You have just recently landed on Nal Hutta, where you were approached evidently because you were carrying some contraband goods for a local Hutt crime lord, Chaska. And you don't quite know what those goods are. You might be able to make some guesses. You do have some guesses, I imagine. But you're expected to deliver these goods, whether or not you choose to, totally up to you. And in the meantime, Nal Hutta is yours until tomorrow. Or you could run away and just leave the Jedi to deal with this.
How is this all on me?
Oh, this is fine. It's all fine here.
Run away. That sounds like a good idea. Run away.
Yeah, I have a dog now, so I have a friend.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that is right. You do have a charhound. There was a charhound who had been just getting some scraps in an alleyway, and you were able to befriend it, reaching out through the Force to make that connection between man and beast. But did you name your charhound?
I have not named her yet, but she's a good girl, I can already tell.
All right.
This is
that's
the
gonna go
interesting
wrong.
part. This is the interesting part of every RPG where the party has to figure out of character, why are these people staying together?
Yep.
So,
We're gonna stay together because lots of people are trying to kill us, and there's only the one way out. It's fine. That's a great foundational element. Wanting to not get killed is that's a really good.
For now, there is that mutual survival thing until you can figure out how to pin all the blame on the Jedi and leave.
But Chris is gonna say "good girl"
out.
in his Chris voice every episode now.
Yep.
there's gonna be so many thirst edits of Halem.
Let's see. We're actually heading out, doing a bit of shopping to make some necessary repairs on the ship, which is up to you whether you want to just let that happen at the average pace, or whether you want to get involved and see if you can make that go better or go worse.
I mean, I can always fix things faster than the people that say they know what they're doing.
I feel like that should give me a bigger vote of confidence, but for some reason it's not. Prove me wrong.
I'll stay here and watch the little fella, make sure he doesn't unfix anything.
At least it's not quite as bad as breaking, though.
Right.
That's why I was trying to be nice, and I said unfix.
Red Hood, fancy some exploring, get some food for the charhound.
All right.
Sure.
Well, Nal Hutta is, for anyone that hasn't been here, everything you would expect of the homeworld of the Hutts. A little dark, given the overcast of the rainy portions you're in. The world has recovered somewhat since the Drangir problems of a few years past, but it's still overgrown, humid, and halfway between swimming and walking as you're going out and around.
Before you guys get too far, on a scale of 0 to 1, how important is artificial gravity to you?
That's at
personally?
least a 3.
I would go with a 5.
Is that something we keep on? That's what I'm
Yes.
hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
10 out of 10 do recommend.
I'm also pretty savvy with repairing, so I'm actually going to help Gleebek with
sounds
trying to
marvelous.
repair the ship, or at least just trying to. Basically, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run diagnostics and see if there's anything we need to go into town to get to fix the ship.
Wow, initiative from a Jedi.
You know
Miracle
what?
signs
I've about
and
had
wonders
it.
happen
I've
every
about
day.
had it. I feel like this whole thing is like not even that he's like hates the Jedi. He just wants to see one lose it. He's just like pushing the buttons because he's like always hears about how peaceful they all are, and he's like he just wants to see him flip his shit. That's all it is.
I don't care about winning. I just want the Jedi to lose.
All right. So, would that be a repair or a research? Would you want me to do for that?
We'll go with repair since that's diagnostics and that falls into the same sort of category.
Cool.
Part of the repair process.
That is going to be a 4 for that roll.
Okay. Well, you successfully run the diagnostics. There's nothing too unexpected given the problems you had with the jump to hyperspace, the sudden dropping out of it, the odd noises that happened as a result of Gleebek's streamlining, and the general damage that happens and things like lighting a fire inside the ship and then shooting a hole in the plating. But yeah, confident you can get it repaired in a somewhat expedient fashion.
I mean, that all just sounds like a Tuesday to me.
And that might be the problem.
Remind me again who it is you're talking to.
What? Oh, you can't hear that voice? Doesn't the Force talk to you?
As you say that, he actually gets like really like downtrodden and quickly changes the subject. And he goes, I've got a couple things that I need to go in town to get to fix this ship. Are you confident that you're not going to break anything, or do you want to come shopping with me?
Well, how about I hop on UV-62 and I'll go with you, because, no offense, you smell like a jaybird, and all the people are going to notice. And so maybe if you were to put something over you so that you could look less like you, that would help.
That's the first good idea I've heard you have. He like opens his pack and he puts his Jedi robe away, and he gets some more mundane looking clothes, like a ship's mechanic clothes out, basically like a big jumpsuit, one of those like big coveralls type thing, to go into town with.
So some Star Wars Carhartts, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Gleebek throws on a poncho.
Stay close to me. I don't really want to end up losing you in town.
Okay, no problem.
Xena and Halem, you two were going out into town to get a bite to eat, I think is what you said?
Mostly for the Charhound.
We're feeling
Okay.
the puppy.
Stretching
It's a
some
good
legs.
puppy.
All right.
Halem has thrown on a hood over everything. It's a gray hood.
And
Good
what
red
about
hood and a gray hood.
Xena pulls her hood up. You can imagine this is red and not
Okay.
full of
Pedro
Pedro
Pascal.
Pascal.
Patrick's.
I just realized what that was.
Yes, it is.
So, when was the last time you were on Dathomir?
It's been a while. Long time.
Didn't know y'all left.
Not many of us do.
That's fun. I don't think we ever said names, and I still am not going to tell the Jedi because it's funny. But I'm Halem.
My name is Xena.
Okay,
It's nice to meet you, Halem. Officially.
officially. Yeah, I remember you pulling that little trick in the hangar with the pipe.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. We all have our secrets, but that one is we all feel the Force. Like, let's not kid a kidder here.
Sorry, I am still a little new to the Force. It feels different than my Night Sister magic.
Yeah, it's something. That Night Sister magic, can you like prank the Jedi with it?
Hmm. We'll talk.
Okay, all right.
We'll talk. Um, where are we going?
I don't know. I haven't been to Nal Hutta. I just will find some food because she's sticking with me for a while. So
Should we look for some other supplies?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what we need, and little guy's got that covered.
Okay.
G-Man seems competent when he's not talking to some unknown force.
You mean when he's not talking?
Fair enough.
I'm gonna
Far
look
enough away,
around.
Gleebek didn't hear this, right?
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna look
It would
around.
be really funny if he was just rolling behind them.
Yeah, I'm gonna look around as we're walking and look for a vendor of sorts.
I mean, vendor's not hard to find. Vendor of something in particular that might require a bit more looking.
Okay.
But what type of vendor?
Good question.
Food that doesn't look like what huts eat.
Yeah.
Like
some kind of like maybe place to sit down that like a restaurant. Do they have restaurants? Something like that.
Well, there's actually a Huddy's food truck gathering right over there.
Hell yeah. Criff, yeah.
And anywhere else you would think it was a parking lot, but given that it's huts, that's actually probably just seating. But yeah, there's a little courtyard not too far away from the starport. After all, the two things anybody's going to do as soon as they land is drink and eat, probably. Or being Nal Hutta, make illicit deals is somewhere in there also, but yeah, there's plenty of there's some sort of small rodent looking thing that's been skewered. There's something that looks like it was pulled out of a swamp. Those are giant tadpoles. Hopefully not related to the huts. You're not sure how that works, but yeah, there's things to eat. Just mostly hut things to eat.
The char hound races over towards the skewered rat, wagging its tail very happily.
The what go away, mongrel hound, go. What as a shopkeep, or I guess vendor, is looking a little off put by the hound that is now jumping up nearly onto their wares.
How much for the rat looking thing?
Your mutt.
She is.
Get its paws off.
Down, girl.
3 credits.
All right. Toss 3 credits down. What else you got?
Well, got the skewers. If you're thirsty, we've got some of that.
Is it alcohol?
It can be.
Interesting. I'll take 2 rat skewers. Do you want anything, Xena?
I could use a drink.
All right. We'll get 2 of those drinks.
Alcohol or not.
Surprise me.
What kind of question is that?
Pours a greenish, swirly substance that looks a little thick, and then dilutes it with something that smells kind of like degreaser, and then slides those over to you.
All right. How much?
15 credits. You can tell he thought about that before saying it.
15?
You seemed a little unsure.
Trying to get one over on the tourists.
I'm going to do some empathy here to see what he's feeling.
Give me that empathy roll.
Oh boy, here we go. I rolled a 7 and a 5.
Okay. Yeah, you can tell that he kind of just seems to have jumped on an opportunity. There was a very mild predatory inclination there.
Well, it seems that you're trying to take advantage of us, and while we may not be from around here, we're certainly not idiots. And I scratch the back of the charhound's ear, and a little flicker of flame escapes her mouth. So maybe we should talk about what the actual price is.
Oh, credits.
Yeah, that sounds a bit better. And for the trouble, maybe throw in another extra rat skewer.
You're going to try to extort me.
It's not extortion. It's a business deal. We were unsatisfied customers.
Very.
I don't care. Like you said, you're tourists. You'll just be leaving soon. I don't need repeat business. Not from you.
Okay.
I also don't need you trying to extort money when I have my own protection payments to make.
Protection payments. Gosh, that sounds hard.
I'm just gonna I've got my arms around my hood or whatever. I'm just gonna take my hand out and start swirling like a little green ball in my hand. A little green flame.
Okay. Are you trying to threat, or are you more just fidgeting?
Like a threat.
Okay. Let's roll that intimidation. Grab it. Yes.
I got a 7.
There's no need for any of that. Off-worlders come in, you don't know better than to not start a fight, and while it wouldn't end well for you, I'm the one that's going to get caught in the middle of it. Just take your other skewer and go start trouble somewhere else.
I'm gonna dissipate my little green ball and grab the skewer. Thank you.
Thank you for your business. And I grabbed
a very not sincere smile.
I grabbed the 2 skewers and a wink, or grab the 2 skewers, the 2 drinks, and give them a wink and go sit down somewhere.
All right. Meanwhile, Vesper and Gleebek, you are heading out shopping.
I know this isn't going to mean anything to you because the burst doesn't talk to you the way that it talks to me. Or maybe, I don't know that it is talking to me, actually. Most of the time it's talking about me. But anyway, so I have 4 bennies now instead of 3. And I know that doesn't make sense, but I'm super excited.
I don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about. How did you even end up on this ship anyway? For somebody who runs your mouth as much as you do seem to know your way around the ship, even though it might be slightly messy.
Oh, so I grew up in a laboratory that was really deep underground, and the only way that we could get food is if we fixed things, so I figured out how to do that really well.
And when did you learn about being able to talk to the Force or whatnot?
It just always talked to me. Like, you know how you can look at something that needs to be fixed, and you can just tell what it needs?
Yeah.
It's like that, except with words. And, well, is both, right? Because you can look at it and you can see what's broken, or you can see what's missing. But then there's also words. Like there's somebody like talking about how you're noticing what's broken.
Has anybody who looks like me ever come across you or tried to bring you somewhere?
Do you mean looks like you, like the base, like a human, or
Like a Jedi
or
from the Order.
well, kinda. So when I left the laboratory, it was because a Jedi found the laboratory, and then lots of bad things happened, and the Jedi died. But I saved the Jedi's Padawans, but then they ran away. Yeah. So not exactly no.
That's strange. I'm sorry that you grew up the way that you did. I'm
It was
sure
the
that
only way that I have ever been, and so if you are sorry or not sorry or whatever, like it's sort of like that'd be sort of like me saying I'm sorry you're really tall. That must be interesting.
yeah, but those are things that the universe should have been kinder to you. I suppose is all I'm saying.
I don't know if you've noticed, the universe is not especially kind to anybody.
You're right about that. But those of us who can should bring hope where we can.
That sounds good. So let's fix the ship, and then we can go somewhere else, so we don't all die.
That sounds fantastic. Have you been on this planet before? Do you know anywhere where you might be able to get some wares to repair the ship with?
Most of the time, Jenna doesn't let me talk to people. She says like things like security risk and Gleebek, why are you always so talkative and stuff like that. So, usually I just tell her what I need and she goes and gets it.
Fantastic. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and try and do a research to just look around, see what I can find.
Also, we should absolutely not say we are with her because that will cause problems.
Yeah, I picked up on that from the gentleman who came to see us at the ship.
Yeah. The only thing that hates huts as much as other huts is, well, no, that's the joke. I told it wrong. It's that because the huts really don't like each other most of the time. Just in general, it's how they are. It's cultural.
I see. On the research roll, I got a 6. So I'm looking around for a shop where I can buy parts, the parts that we need for the ship.
Okay. Yeah, it's no problem finding. It's a spaceport. You can find what you need. There's nothing that really stands out. Just kind of run of the mill. What you would need.
Okay.
Worst sentence I've ever said in my life, right there. But yeah.
Did we decide on the name of our ship? Like what the designation? Blah blah blah. Like
Yes.
I don't remember.
But you guys didn't like name it.
So, in other words, you decided on it.
Yeah.
Cool. I would be in there getting parts for the ship. Also, I would ask and see if they have a like a holonet relay that I can use that isn't going to be tracked by anybody.
When you say isn't going to be tracked, you mean unofficial use, or one that's
like
encrypted and can't be traced?
Yeah, it's like encrypted, so like off the grid.
Not here, no. Something that clandestine is going to be, regulated.
Is this what the guy's telling me?
Yeah.
Do you think that the Hutts in town might know where I can get something like that?
Sure they do if you can get a word with them.
I see. So they still control most of the goings on in this town?
Still their planet.
I see. And how's that working out for you?
Make a living. Bit of honest business, bit of dishonest business, but I know how to. Dishonest business is still fairly honest.
Well, It's been a pleasure talking to you. I think that we have the parts that we need.
We also need to get the co-pilot auxiliary control stick.
Okay.
We need one of those, please.
The cax, please.
You want all these parts just shipped over your bay?
That would be perfect.
Yeah, we'll get them sent over.
Thank
I
you
don't know
very
why that I know that that's going to break soon, but it's going to break soon, and it would be really hard to fix it on the fly. Those are very complicated.
much. All right, fair enough. Yeah. So that's and really all that Vesper needs. In that case, he would go back to the ship.
All right. Gleebek, anything else?
I don't think so.
All right.
Let's see. Okay, we got that. We got that. We got 2 of those. That was smart. Good car. No, okay. And so the encrypted HoloNet thing, why is it that you need one of those exactly? Every time Jonah wants to use one of those, it's because something really awful happens.
Because as much as I want to trust in the good in people, there are still people who don't even want to know my name, and therefore, I don't necessarily want every single word that I'm saying or maybe communicating to other people to be able to be spied upon.
Huh. Okay, that's rule number 7. Don't trust anybody unless you are big enough to throw them. That is why Jonah can trust some people and I can't trust anybody.
That's fair. Also, we're in hut space, and it seems like they've got a vice grip on everything, and I would rather fly under the radar if possible.
Yeah, that's probably smart. There's a lot of things Jonah said about Jaybirds that apparently aren't true. She said you guys couldn't put your beats on the correct feet without help.
Do you think that I'm a cop? Sorry, do you think that I'm some kind of law enforcement officer?
You've already told lots of people you're a Jedi.
We like to think of ourselves as keepers of the peace, not soldiers.
Right. So, a cop, right? Like,
Listen, I am not on Coruscant right now because I have my own issues that I'm working out with how the Order does things. But this is one of those times where I, as a player, have to say something that, as a character, that I, as a player, disagree with. But I have to believe that if it were not us in the position we're in, it would be somebody else far worse.
well, I mean, you're looking around at what it looks like when it's somebody instead of the Jedi, and I have never been to this Coruscant, but Jonah really hates that place. So I don't know if you're right or not. But we can experiment, and I could be a neutral third-party opinion for you.
Gleebek, I don't know if I'm right either. That's part of what I intend to find out.
So, you two head back to the ship with parts on the way soon to begin your repairs. Meanwhile, Halem and Xena got a little bit of a bite to eat, some rat-like things on skewers and some liquored up swamp moonshine.
I said we were going to sit down on the last one. Did we actually sit down, or
Yeah.
are we walk? Okay. All right.
Whatever you guys would have done, basically. Do you have a thing to do? Is there a scene to play out, or is it just kind of eat, take your time, then get back to the ship eventually?
Take your time and make our way back to
Yeah.
the ship eventually.
I think we're just vibing.
Yeah. All right. Nothing wrong with vibing, but
When the party is split,
decent
that will
amount of work has
definitely
been
never,
done.
ever go wrong.
Say again, Alan.
When the party is split, that will definitely never, ever go wrong.
It's just one bad roll away from it. One bad roll. Fortunately, we haven't had a bad roll yet.
So as we're sitting down, I toss one skewer down to the Charhound, and I was like, I really need to find a name for her. Uh, so I take a sip of my drink and say to Zeno, "What's your story?"
I don't really have one.
Halem grunts ambiguously and takes another sip.
I was expecting you to use empathy and see if get something.
I mean, what we understand of Halem so far, he's not going to use empathy first. Like, that's not the first tool that he's going to reach for in the tool.
Well, not when it comes to the Jedi.
But about you? You seem to have this complicated history with the Jedi.
I knew a Jedi once. We didn't see eye to eye on life philosophies. Yeah.
I see.
So why are you traveling the galaxy?
I wanted to see more. I like finding stuff. You know, trying to study some artifacts and things.
Artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds boring.
Maybe for you.
Yeah, definitely for me. Not. It existed. Yay.
Oh, but there's a whole story you can tell from just one item.
And from what I've seen, stories are only written by the victors, not by the oppressed.
You might have a point there.
Those are the stories that I'm interested in.
Is that why you're out here?
Yeah. In part.
I'm gonna just like take a sip.
It pretty much tastes like a combination of ferment, silt, and grain liquor.
Alcoholic mud.
Yeah, basically. It might actually just be that. They may have just scooped up some bog water and cut it with some liquor, for all you know.
It kills the bacteria.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a sip and then I'm just gonna put it down. That is disgusting.
I've had worse. I just take and drink some more.
And you enjoy the rest of your meal before heading on back to the ship as you're realizing it's probably not too good of an idea to sit in one spot for too long here out in the open. You start getting a few odd looks after you don't just immediately get up and leave after finishing your food. You're pretty sure some people think you're beginning to stake the place out. It's a better idea to get back to whatever qualifies for safe right now, which happens to be your ship.
Did you see that?
Yeah. We should probably get out of here.
Probably be best not in the Hutt's territory. Not a place to investigate.
I'm gonna stand up.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up and put some of the skewer in my bag and take the rest of my drink. Down it. One go.
I'm just gonna watch this and just pick mine up from the table and just pass it over to you.
One gulp. You mispronounced chew.
Nope, no chewing. Just down the hatchet.
You know what? Give me a toughness roll.
Where is that? Wait.
Or sorry, vigor, not toughness.
Okay. I rolled a double one.
All right.
You know what? I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah, as
Just
you
wanna see
go
what
to down
Are you
that
just gonna
drink.
come back pissed drunk? That's amazing.
Oh no! As you go to down that drink, you slam it, thinking, this stuff really isn't that bad. As there's no delay, there's no warning. Just the past 20 minutes of Halem's life come back up to greet you. A couple Gamorreans that were nearby, they, for half a second, were really impressed with you slamming it and then just start laughing hysterically.
I wipe my mouth and go, yucky. Again, I've had worse.
That's fair.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. Oh, you were told to make the delivery over to the Hut crime boss. Not too far from now. You're still not entirely sure what it is you're supposed to be delivering, other than there is a delivery. If you're even choosing to do that.
I was gonna say, hear me out. What if we just didn't show up? I feel like not showing up would be better than showing up empty-handed.
About how far are Xena and I, from the Jedi and G-Man?
Yeah, not too far, maybe 5-10 minutes walk.
Okay, so I'm going to I'm gonna say to Xena, want to see something cool, and I'm going to establish a mind link with the Jedi. According to the description, it goes up to a mile. It's one of my abilities.
Sean, you got some? Or sorry,
I was gonna say, interesting thing happens when you do that. It comes through very, like, the link establishes, but it's very thin, cloudy almost. It's as if something is like dulling your connection with the Force as you reach out to connect to Vesper.
This is new. Jedi, are you there?
Yes.
We're headed back to the ship. What's the status on the repairs?
It's like it comes back again, almost like static. We're working on fixing the ship. We got some parts from town.
Are you getting feedback from this? Because this hasn't happened before. Is this you? This has to be you. It's not me. Could be. It's not me.
He telepathically sighs.
This happened to me before.
Yeah. He telepathically sighs and says, "It's me."
Well, I guess it happens to the best of us. 1 in 5. We'll see you back at the ship soon. Are we making said delivery, or are we just?
Let's talk about it in person.
All right. Yeah, this was fun. We should not do this again. And I end the link.
So you meet back up at the ship.
Totally
repairs
works.
are
I'm on
underway.
board.
The ship is space worthy at the moment. It is not fully space worthy. It would be a bit of a risk depending upon what you're into. And trying to leave system, a little bit riskier.
I was gonna say, should I make a repair roll to see how space-worthy or not space-worthy it is?
No, you got that earlier from all the diagnostics. It's a question of how quickly you can do it, which would basically be you're looking at to get it back into essentially as close to mint shape as this thing would be in 3 days, though you might be able to cut that down between you and Gleebek and trying to push or a little bit of luck.
Cool.
Oh, by the way, I forgot this. This is out of character, which I don't know why I'm doing that because I'm the GM. Technically, everything's out of character. But
now for Gleebek.
Yeah, enough raises, and you could knock time off of how long it would take to repair.
No, seriously, I'm hearing from the Force that if you and I work together, we could be a whole lot more efficient than these guys. It's not that they're, not trying very hard. They're trying very, very hard. They're just not very smart. And that's not their fault. They didn't ask to not be very smart.
Who are we talking about now?
The people that are working on the ship.
You mean you two?
It's just us. We're not hiring anybody.
But cell phone.
I'm imagining the little helmet droids that like collapse into
the pit
themselves.
droids?
Like,
I don't know. Maybe you do have some. I just assumed you guys are doing your own repairs.
Works for me.
I say to Xena, I know we had something to drink. Did they have something to drink?
No, this is what I'm like all the time.
Yeah, you didn't pick up on that?
That's right. Oh, I don't want to hear it from the Jedi about not picking up on things.
We're going to have this shit done in a couple days, so y'all might as well get comfortable. Try and lay low. I'm sure you guys picked up on the fact that there's HUD activity in the city, and I would much prefer to interact with them as little as possible.
HUD activity on Nal Hutta?
Up.
Oh, wow.
I'm begging you to say one positive thing.
You're
very sad
breathing.
and very angry. He's not ready to do that. On the topic of picking things up with one of you guys, like in the process of arguing, like you can keep arguing if you want to, but if you would go down and get the heavy box and bring it up here, that would be fantastic so that I can finish doing this. I would like that. But if it's super important that you guys keep arguing at each other, you can do that and walk and do something useful at the same time, and that would be okay.
All right, I'm going to go down and get the box, and I say to my Charhan, I was like, watch him. Pointing towards the Jedi.
There is now a Charhound just wagging its tail at you. It doesn't exactly look threatening. It looks more like it wants scritches.
I would pet you, but I'm sure that would just escalate the situation further, so...
If his dog likes you more than him, it makes this so much funnier.
But just doing an animal handling check out of spite.
Bring the box up.
Probably about 3 days of repairs. If you can't get out of here earlier, then there's going to be a hut looking for you. You can try to rush the repairs, but that does carry some risk. So, you can try to rush, which means you would be rolling at a penalty, as opposed to the normal rolling and getting raises, letting you go faster. -2 penalty to cut it down by 2 days, -1 to cut it down by 1 day.
Okay, I'm just trying to think through some math in my head. When is it that we are supposed to deliver the thing so that we do not die? The thing that we don't have, that they're going to be super upset that we don't have.
Also, question, do we actually know what we're supposed to be delivering?
Nope.
Good.
And everything that was in the cargo hold is now in orbit.
Alright, so the way I see it is we've got a couple options. One, we can try and fix the ship up really, really fast and get out of here, which might just lead us to more problems in space. But also, out of character. That seems like the narratively the least interesting thing to do. Secondly, the other option is we can try and deal with the Hutts, which my character doesn't want to do. I think that would be very interesting. But we can either maybe try and deceive them and make them think that we did give them what we want to give us enough time to get out before they figure it out, or maybe say, hey, we don't have what you want because the job went wrong. What else can we do for you? Or just, try and overthrow an organized crime ring, but that seems like maybe a little bit outside of our scope of abilities. I think the gears are starting to turn in Vesper's head, and he's starting to think, hey, maybe there's an opportunity here to bring everybody together, because he's kind of picking up on the fact that the person whose name he doesn't know is about, justice for the marginalized people, and might have a bone to pick with the Hutts because of that. And so maybe that would be an olive branch he could extend to him. So
I think it's funnier that Gleebek knows Halem's name, but he hasn't told Vesper because he doesn't realize that Vesper doesn't know because the Force didn't tell him.
So I think Vesper's gonna approach Halem, and say, "Listen, we've got a predicament on our hands, and you don't have to like me or my ilk, but this affects you as much as it does me, and there's nothing either of us can do in our current situation to change that, unless we try and change it together. Are you listening?"
Go on.
Whoever was bringing the ship in initially was dealing with the Hutts. Not only are the Hutts a force to be reckoned with and going to give us problems if we try and leave without dealing with them, but the Hutts also have a vice grip on this whole sector, to be honest. So maybe we can do something. We can formulate some kind of a plan to strike back at the Hutts. Maybe, that's up your alley, because I know that you've got some kind of mind to do some justice in this world.
He sticks out his hand and says, "My name is Halem."
Vesper, nice to meet you.
I wouldn't say that.
Fair enough. I'll take what I can get. All right. So how do we want to do this?
We need as much information about this place as possible. You can't go at the Hutts with anything less than the most fleshed out plan possible, or else it doesn't matter. But given G-Man, we definitely need a plan that is as thought out as possible in very clear cut instructions.
I agree.
Unless it's time for him to just go wild, because we need him to go wild.
Well, the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to try and figure out exactly what kind of package they were expecting. Because if we show up and we're empty-handed, or we're bringing something that doesn't look like what they're expecting, then we're not going to get very far. So if we need to at least get within speaking distance of them, we're going to need to show up with something that looks like what they're expecting. And then from there...
This may or may not be relevant. I remember that the reason that Jonah and I were here to steal this ship in the first place is because Jonah was trying to make sure that this particular Hutt did not receive the things in the box that is currently in place. So I think I can ethically be entirely involved in this plan as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Plus, you guys
That's wonderful news.
Nobody's kicked me yet.
Does that usually happen?
often. My entire life.
Well, I won't kick you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't find much joy in torturing small creatures.
I appreciate that too.
I'd hope not. That'd be
Terrible,
psychopathic.
right? We
It'd be
agree on something.
psychopathic. Don't ruin it.
But notice that Xena has not promised not to kick Gleebek.
I make no promises.
I was gonna turn and say, still don't have your name.
Yeah.
Don't tell him. It's funnier that way.
So we have Chris getting thirst edits from One Direction, and now so like Xena is going to get Step on Me edits, and that it's just we're headed in the right. This is
Yes.
where we need to be. That's all.
I'm gonna just look at Vesper and be like, why do you need to know?
Because it's easier for communication. I don't want to go around calling you Red Hood or something stupid like that. I'd rather just call you your name.
I mean, you say it's stupid, but it worked for me, and now I know her actual name. So
Well, yeah, but you're only doing that because that's a way for you to stay emotionally removed from the actual person, so that if they die, you don't feel as sad about it. And that's okay. There's lots of people that do that, and they don't need to feel guilty about that. Like when you work the way that we do, like lots of people around you die, like all the time. And so having a way that you can like desensitize yourself to that a little bit, so that you're not having to think about all the people you know that are dead now, like it makes it easier. I understand. When I was little, we just had numbers.
that was a lot.
I just had an aneurysm.
That was a lot, and I'm going to go pet my charhound now.
Person whose name will be revealed at a later time. Do you have any connections, anyone that you might be able to get information from, or any means by which to procure said information?
Not on this planet. I've never been here before.
All right. Well, seems like we got our work cut out for us.
Well, we have, from what I can tell, 4 lightsabers between us. I don't recommend using those because those attract too much attention. But we do have 1 flamethrower and a charhound that can breathe fire, and 1 that can wield green fire. So that's a lot of fire. Fire is a very motivating factor.
So what? We just burned down the city?
No, God, no.
What would bring you to that conclusion?
Come
No, it's
on.
way too humid here. That would not work very well at all. Like
That
the fire
too.
wouldn't travel very well. Like if we had like 1 building that we wanted to burn down, that wouldn't be that difficult. I could probably add some stuff too, so that would power in on itself instead of over.
Like a distraction?
Well, I was thinking more so that it didn't destroy any of the buildings around it. Because, like, if you're going to destroy a building, it's better that it falls in on itself instead of over, so that it's just a win.
We need to find people that actually know what's going on and
that's not me.
procure information from them.
Right. And then the best thing to do while we're doing research is we're not going to be able to just mess with the huts, then come back and take our sweet time fixing the ship. I think that it's time to maybe find a new one. Maybe go in, maybe disable the hut's ability to pursue us as much as possible, and then find a ship by which to make our egress.
Those sound like things that are in my skill set.
It sounds like a good plan to me. We should probably grab only what's necessary to carry and nothing that identifies us on this ship.
I came onto the ship with the clothes in my back, so I can leave with just the same.
That was more to Gleebek, since this was his ship that he had things on.
Was it?
So, are the stuff that I'm with, like, this is the entirety of my wordless possession.
Okay.
Do you guys have more stuff than you can carry?
Why is it that everything that you say with that upbeat and positive voice makes me more and more depressed?
I don't know. That sounds like a you problem.
It does sound like a him problem. Gleebek.
So do you guys have more stuff than you can carry? How do you live like that? That sounds really encumbered.
Carefully. Gleebek, do you have anything that can make the ship go boom?
This ship?
This ship.
Oh, ever since we stole it the first time, I've been holding it together with real power and spite.
I love the look that every GM gets as the wheels start turning and the players start coming together, just like, oh no, this is about to go so wrong in so many different ways.
We're gonna have lots of fun.
The only way for things to go right is to go wrong. I will accept no other method of table.
Look, did you know they make this alcohol here that's basically this mud with alcohol in it? And if you pour that into an engine, it's really bad for engines.
We're going to put a pin in that because I want to have that conversation as to how you figured that out. But until then, I think our first quest should be to find a ship and scout it out.
Preferably one we can steal from the huts, because that would just make it so much funnier. And also, it'd be one less ship they can come after us with.
I thought Jedis weren't supposed to steal stuff.
Oh, no. That's rule number 4. It is only stealing if they want to keep it more than you want to have it.
Also,
Jedi are full of contradictions.
If it is not nailed down, it does not count as stealing, and if you can easily pry it up, then it doesn't count as nailed down, and you have that and the nails too. That's rule number 5.
There's a whole philosophical conversation we could have here, but it's not important right now. So, I think the most important thing is to make a plan, follow the plan, hope the plan doesn't screw up, be ready to make a new plan.
Yeah, see, it goes make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan.
That's the one I was looking for.
There you go. So,
No,
all right.
this is fine. I can absolutely take a whole hangar full of ships and make it so that they are not flight-worthy in a very short amount of time. That part's easy. Ships are very delicate. Engines especially are very delicate. Like, there's a whole lot going on inside an engine. It takes a lot of work to make sure an engine doesn't just completely fly apart in a catastrophic explosion that claims the lives of thousands.
All right. Well,
Okay.
that's very dark, but I like this. It seems like we're all on the same page. Maybe at least all in the same book now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go.
Maybe not the same page, but we're in the same neighborhood. This is improvement. This is progress, and I think that this is going to be beneficial for all of us.
So if I dress like myself and act like I'm fixing things, people let me in just about anywhere. That's how we got on this ship in the first place.
Great.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, your plan is to blow up the ship you stole and steal a new ship from the
I'm not
Hutt.
going to blow it up yet.
Yeah, preferably blow it up in a way that also causes some collateral damage to the Hutt Palace or wherever
No,
the
see,
Hutts
people
are.
always think about this all wrong. I explained this to Jonah one time too. You don't blow up the ship before you leave. You make it so that when they try to make the ship take off, it either doesn't or it explodes.
Where's the hangar full of ships?
That's one of the things that we need to find. So we're going to do some research. We're going to see what we can find. We're going to see what vulnerable targets that they have. And then we're going to finalize the rough outline of a plan that we have. Based on what we
you're
find.
at a starport, so there's no shortage of ships in the area, but you were specifically trying to target one of the ones to the local Hutt cartel?
Yes.
This definitely doesn't sound like something that will cause significant collateral damage that will follow us around for the remainder of our story.
Gleebek, where do we need to go?
Okay. Let's see. So, you see this giant building right here?
Mm-hmm.
It's so big because it's full of ships. Like, so that's the thing. Like, when you're looking at spaceports, it's really easy to see where all the ships are because it's a giant building. Because otherwise, it can't fit ships in it. And so, like, this building over here, that's like normal size, that might be someplace that people sleep. It might be someplace people work, or it might like hold things or whatever. But this super enormous building, this is the one that's got all the stuff in it that you need to make explode, or make it so that when it goes to take off, that it explodes, or so that when it goes to take off, it doesn't take off. Like all of those things are possible. The second one is definitely the easiest, and the third one is definitely the hardest. But I'm a team player. So this is good.
Okay.
Those were certainly all words.
Yeah.
I apologize.
And
He's so fun, but I know he's a lot. I'm sorry.
Is this building
It's
a cantina of some kind?
Oh, I don't know about that.
you're
The
basically
circular
at
one looks
the
like
equivalent of the airport for the area. There's or shipyard, and it's a starport. There's a lot of places for people to land, but that also means there's a lot of places for people to do things one might need while traveling.
It's the cluster around the naval port, right? So it's all just brothels, bars, and hotels.
Yeah, basically.
Just like that's it. It's that,
Essentially,
and
evidently one Huddy's food truck gathering.
Halem, your plan.
So my plan, we get Gleebek in so he can start dismantling some ships. Pick out the one we're in. As a distraction to get the Hutt's attention, we start a massive bar fight. And maybe some things get set on fire. Maybe they don't. As we make our escape. And if we find some data that is important to the Hutts, that's a bonus. If you can search the ships for anything relevant to that they might have in there, that's also a bonus. As Gleebek breaks things, you search them.
For the record, mostly I'm not going to break things. Mostly I'm going to put things places where they don't belong, so that when they turn on the machinery, then the machinery will break itself. But I understand why that's confusing.
Good stuff.
I have questions about the fire plan. Like, Xena, you're wearing some very nice boots, and I don't know if it's a good idea.
At this point, Xena's like leaned up against a box with like the hood over her head, and she fell asleep.
Vesper gets to like officially know the name now, and it's like, how did you find out? Like I've been around you the whole time, and she hasn't told you. So how do you know?
Yeah, he's just fuming at this point.
It's fine. He's finally on the page we all were earlier.
Not for lack of trying.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Your shoes? You look like you've been through some shit, metaphorically and literally.
Well, we can talk about shoes later. When
you're 2 feet tall, your universe is knees and feet. Okay.
Yes, but time is a wasting, and we have a deadline before the Hutts come collecting something we don't have.
I need a spanner and a clipboard, otherwise I'm not going to be able to get in.
All right. Are there any of these on the ship now?
Yeah, Johnny makes sure I never leave without them, so that I can always get in to places if we need to.
Okay, go grab them.
So he pulls both out from underneath his poncho.
Okay, so you already had them. All right. Vesper, escort Gleebek to where he has to go, and while he's working his expertise on the ships, search him to see if you can find anything. Xena taps her on the head. Yeah. Want to go start a bar fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Immediately on board. Love it.
Let's go.
I like how since you've been sleeping, you don't even know starting a bar fight is part of a plan. That's
No.
just like the evening's activity.
Yeah.
Aggressive
Don't worry, I'll catch you up.
negotiations.
So
Passive-aggressive
Vesper and
negotiations
Gleebek
with
are
the
going to go
on the
break into a hangar while you two go to a nearby cantina and start a bar fight. That's
No,
where
we're not going to break in. They're going to let me in because it's going to look like I belong there.
He's talking to the boys again.
You gotta stop doing that.
Well, does the Force talk to you guys too?
In a much different way than I imagine it talks to you, my friend.